Okay, y'all, we got a 2009 Subaru Forester 2.5, okay? Pull loose all your sensor wires, okay? There's 3 there. That one should have already been done whenever you pulled the engine. I pull the engines. I do not do this down in there because it's a lot easier and a lot cleaner. You got 2 there, came angle, crank angle right here. These need to become loose from right here, so that way you can pull it off. You got a intake bolt right there. You got 2 over in there. I access them right down through here. If you can see them, probably not. Either way, they're straight down in there, 2 of them. You got another one down there. Leave these bolts alone. And then you have more sensor wires over here. It's a total of 3 right here. Get this one disconnected from right here. There's a clip on the bottom, but get those 3 right there. The clip on the bottom, you just have to take a screwdriver and you'll have to pull up on that and then slide it off, okay? That was pretty simple. You got a hose right there. And that is your antifreeze line. Then you have your PVC right there to there. Then you have a knock sensor. Just disconnect it. You're going to have a water line right here, antifreeze line. Get it pulled off. I just pulled off right here. It's the easiest spot. EGR valve, top one right there. I go ahead and take loose the bottom one once I have it out of the car. I was going to pull off this intake while it was in the car. Pull all your spark plug wires. Get them out of the holes. This intake, then we will show you the timing cover. We'll pull it off, show you what you need to do there. Pretty simple, y'all. Now we should be able to just pull off the intake, left the bolts in it though. Pull it straight off, and we're just gonna set it over here for now. Just lay it down on the ground. And we got new intake gaskets coming, new valve cover pan gaskets. Now what I am gonna do on this is I'm gonna vacuum this out with a vacuum cleaner, get all the sand, dirt, anything like that out of here. Make it a lot easier so I got less to clean up. So I'm gonna get started on that. Okay, y'all, what I headed for was these 2 ports when it was in the car. Right there. And over here, it was leaking antifreeze. So that's what I was heading for. And then I found out there was antifreeze leaking on the bottom of the head gaskets, okay? The reason I vacuumed this out is because it keeps dirt from falling in the engine. So I do it by the head gaskets and run a screwdriver down the valve cover pan gaskets and any dirt over in here. I don't want none of that falling down in there, so I have to keep on cleaning and cleaning to get it together right. So definitely helps. And your spark plugs right here, the spark plug wires were oily as heck. Okay, valve cover pan gaskets need replaced. I'm hoping I can get off them valve cover bolts real easy. You see the amount of oil that is from the head gasket, that is not from the oil filter. Okay, but I saw antifreeze. There's a drop right there, but I saw antifreeze underneath here, and I was like, yep, we got to pull this engine. And this side's really covered with oil. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to do the timing, okay? We're going to go ahead and get the time belt off. So all we're doing is all the 10mm bolts all the way around through there, okay? 22mm right here or 7/8, whichever one you want to use. Pull off the damper wheel pulley, and we're going to go into the timing, and then we'll take all that apart. Okay, we got a 17 over here. We have 14s is what all these are. We're going to leave that one. And we're not going to go ahead and pin this. We'll just put it on the vise and pin it. I'll probably have to get another one here later. But I got a good one over here on the shelf I'll put on. And 14, 17 again. Now also you need to remove this cover right here. 2 10mm, one there after you get off that pulley. Go ahead and remove your 3 10mm inside there. And you have a 10mm on the head for the oil dipstick. Get that out of your way. And then we're heading to the valve cover pan gaskets and then the head gaskets. Also, do both your cam sprockets before you do the 14s. You don't want to loosen this belt, so that way you can just hold it right here real tight and hit it with a 17 with an impact. Okay, y'all, one thing I failed to mention because I ain't done this for over a year, get all your timing marks lined up, and these are all off out of whack. Time marks over here supposed to be up here. This one is right here, needs to be here. This one needs to be up here. Line up your time marks. You only have one cam you'll have to twist. Now I got 2 cams, plus I got to not hit the pistons, which as long as you turn it with an air ratchet, or with a ratchet, not an air ratchet, you'll be fine. You ain't gonna hurt nothing. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and fix my goof up. Okay, whenever y'all decide to do the cam seals and the front crate, make sure you pry right here easy. A lot of times these are stuck. This one wasn't really stuck at all. I mean, it came off. And pry right there. If you pry on these teeth, they do break real easy, and it's still kind of working on coming out of there. We're going to go ahead and replace these while we're in here and put some new ones in. They might have been done before. I don't really know, and I can't really tell because the belt is worn down. Now, what we're doing is the valve cover pan gaskets. So, well, the valve cover pans we are pulling off. Let me put it that way. You just got 6 bolts. They're all on the outside. These are bad about jamming on the bottoms, okay? This one has plenty of oil. I don't think we'll have an issue, hopefully. The top is rusted pretty good over on the other side. And let's see what happens. We'll get these off, and then we're heading to the heads, and then we're going to clean them up, y'all. Okay, one more thing I need to mention. I'm using an impact on most of this. The timing cover, you won't break the timing cover most of the times. Over 3/4 the amount of time if you use an impact up on high. Now we're also going to use it over here on all of the valve cover pan bolts. It will hopefully break them loose a lot easier. If you do it by hand, chances are you're going to strip it. You also want to use a 6-point, okay? Don't use a 12. It will definitely strip them right off the bat. Okay, this video ain't going to look the best, but either way, what I usually do, I'm going to tip the engine this way so we get some, any dirt falls, anything like that. Sometimes you got to use a screwdriver to pry it off there. This one did not come apart the way I wanted. I wanted the gasket to stay on there, and I wanted my bolts to stay in there. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down temporarily. Let me get some of that out of there. Because this is not usually the way I do it. So, okay, let's set it over there. We're going to get this gasket out of here. We're going to get some dirt down in there. It'll be all right. We'll get it out. Get it all cleaned up. Try to get as little amount as possible down in there. Okay, so we're just going to take this and we're going to put it back in valve cover pan. The reason why is because we're going to flip it over and we're just going to lay it down in there. That's all we got to do. Go ahead and pull out our bolts. I'm going to clean these up. Since they fell out, usually I keep them like that, at least they're rusty, and all these look real good. I'm still missing a bolt. We'll find it here. There it is. Okay, so we're just going to lay the bolts right there for right now. We got all that done. Now, instead of doing the other side, I'm just showing y'all on this side only. Go ahead and we're going to break loose the head bolts, show you what you need, okay? I just leave these on there because where we're going to set it over here, I'll show you that here in a second. Either way, you got to have a 12-point. Needs to be about 3.5 inches long. Definitely helps. You can put an extension on one, whatever you want to do. Either way, don't use an impact. Impact will tear up the threads in the block. Once you do that, you can put a helicoil in. I don't do it. I just forget about the block. There ain't no point in putting a helicoil in. People do it, and I don't like it. So I've never done it, don't want to. Either way, what we're doing is we're just doing a ratchet, and we're just going to break it loose. Once we get that one broke, we'll just go to the next one. I do it in a reverse process also, crisscross. I don't know why, it just feels right, you know what I mean? Just like I'm torquing down the head bolts. And once I have that loose, I will run it out with the impact. Whoops. We'll run it out with the impact on low. All of them except for the top one, because I don't want the head falling off on me. So we'll just go ahead, run this with the impact, and get that off there. Man, it locks on good. Actually, I'm going to run this on out with the impact. Change my mind. Just hold your head up real good. Oh, it's already broke loose. Okay. Usually you got to knock them out. Leave all the head bolts in there for right now. I tipped the engine up. I shouldn't have. We're just going to let it go down. Let it drain for just a minute. As soon as we, that air hose is annoying, I know. And I did that backwards, y'all. I'm going to put that back in there for a second. Y'all like, why are you doing that? Well, you'll see here in a minute. We're just going to leave it like that. We're good. Let me go get it real quick. Okay, I do not buy any new head bolts, okay? Now, whenever you do this, these two center ones are different on the washers than the side ones. Need to mark them anyways, okay? You want them going back in the same holes. So, I just use this. Mark it as if I put it there. Look at all that. Look at this. Look at this. Hold on. Look at all that antifreeze and oil mixed in right there. That's one of the reasons why we're replacing this, because the junk head gaskets that are there. That one didn't come out all the way. No, it's stuck on the head gasket. What am I thinking? I done head off the head. So, we're just going to line them all up right there. Why is this stuck? What in the heck is going on here? Okay, there we go. It's just stuck where the head is not all the way onto the thing. Then we'll get out this bottom one. Maybe. Okay. And then we're going to take this, unscrew the top one. Make sure you do not drop your head. I don't want to resurface this one. This one did not heat up. It was just leaking antifreeze and oil real bad. So now we're going to take it over the workbench. I'll show you what I did over there. Okay, we got that one. Look how woolly that is. Pretty bad, pretty bad. Let me show you this head gasket too. What happens. That way y'all know. It should be on another video too. See that black material? That ain't oil. That's the black material. Whoops. Hold on. Let me look at the screen. Make sure. Yeah, I was way over there. That black material comes off. That was a defect with these head gaskets. They only rated it to 100,000 miles. They would replace it for free. You'd have to argue with them. See, it even gets into your antifreeze. But right here, around here is your antifreeze port. Going all the way around the head gasket. You can see where it was leaking right there, right there. It was also coming down right there. So that's why we're replacing these. We're replacing them with Fail Pros. Everybody's, oh, those Fail Pros don't work. Well, y'all need to learn how to do head gaskets properly. I ain't talking the ones right here on the video. I'm talking about the ones that messed it up. Make sure your heads are not warped. If it overheated, chances are you're going to have to mill them down. Okay? Once the block's warped so far, you're out of luck. You can have that milled too, but it's a lot of money. I ain't doing it, and nobody around here knows how to do it, so that's pretty sad, huh? Either way, this one has not been overheated. I know it's good to go. We are great. So we're just going to clean all this up, put new head gaskets on there for the leaking, okay? The Fail Pro head gaskets are real good. That's what I use on everything. Been using it for probably around 15 years now, y'all, okay? On the older cars, the newer ones, whatever. All right, let me show you what I did over here on the table. Okay, all I did was cleaned up my workbench a little bit. Laid me down 2 paper towel rolls worth right there. So 2 layers anyways. That's just keep all the oil from running everywhere and keep this from getting scarred up or anything, which it shouldn't. And keep dirt off of it. So we're going to plug your oil port hole, and we're going to plug your oil drain holes after we clean it up. We're going to plug them with paper towels. The reason we do that is because it's less cleaning. I don't want to have to run brake cleaner through this whole thing if I ain't got to. I'm just going to clean what I need to that has grit, dirt, anything on it. I want it out of there. I want this to go back together nice and clean, okay? And it's just a lot less hassle by plugging those ports up. And then we'll get started on cleaning this. Okay, y'all, first thing we're going to do is we're going to wipe off all the excess oil, get it out of there. And then we're going to plug those 2 holes, 3 holes that I was showing you. Then we're going to take a razor blade, and we're going to take it, and we're going to scrape nice and even. Try not to scratch it up, okay? We're going to do that. I'll clean up most of it, and then we'll head to the next head. And what I used after I use them, use the razor blade, I'll use this on it, okay? Now, you want to roughen this up if they're brand new. You want to roughen it up against some metal and kind of wear it out a little bit so that way it ain't tearing up your heads. You want to run it pretty quick. I don't recommend this for first-time users because if you tear up the head too much or the block, you're going to cause a problem, have to have this milled down, and you messed up your block. But either way, I run this tool. What you can do instead is I usually run a 240 grit sandpaper. This is for a belt sander. Either way, it's pretty tough. It ain't like the junk you buy from the store, just paper on the back. This has actually got a material on it that'll last. And what you do is you put some WD-40 penetrating oil, something on this, and it will keep it from eating this up instead of just straight sanding it down, okay? Now, I am going to still use this. I'm going to use this on the block more than anything, and I'll use my tool just to do the final touches, okay? And this is real good. You put that WD-40 or penetrating oil keeps it from tearing up the aluminum so bad, okay? I mean, it works real good. Just recommending it to y'all. Y'all do what you want, and let's get this started. Okay, after you're done with that, let's wipe it off a little bit. We'll run some brake cleaner over it. Actually, let me spray something on it. I gotta go and get brake cleaner. So we'll spray some starting fluid on it. Whatever works, y'all, whatever works. But we'll go out and get some brake cleaner when I get ready to completely do this. And we will clean it up all the way. I'm gonna clean all that out a little bit, get some of that gunk out of there. We gotta buy spark plugs. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me take this off here, show y'all this. I mean, look at that gap on that spark plug. Look at that. Whoops. That is a big gap. That one ain't gap very bad. Now this thing burns off 2 spark plugs. I forgot what cylinders. I think 1 and 4 or something like that. Either way, it always burns out 2 spark plugs more than the other. This probably has not ever been changed. That is one of the biggest gaps I have ever seen. Okay, and we're just showing you one head right now. I'll show you the block tube, me cleaning it up, show you what I do there. Pretty well same process, y'all. And then we'll be assembling this thing as soon as this thing is clean. I also have to clean off the intake ports right there and the exhaust ports. And we're going to clean off where the valve cover pan gaskets are too. So just make sure you clean up your engine. I ain't going to show all this. I'm just going to show you the block, and then we're going to show you the assembly process, y'all. Okay, y'all, we've got that pretty much cleaned up right there. Still got to do some more steps, okay, on cleaning. Either way, we got all this nice clean. We're going to go down and get some brake cleaner. I can't show you the next steps till I do go down and get some brake cleaner. Got to have it. That is for sure. Also need air to do these next steps if you want this assembled correctly so you ain't got no problems, okay? Either way, I'm heading out. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the rest of these real quick. Then I'm heading out to get the brake cleaner and show you all the rest of the process. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take us some brake cleaner right here, and we're going to spray it in them holes. Push it all the way back to the back and spray it in. Every doggone one of those. Fill them up. Once you do that, you're going to take this and blow it all out. Takes care of it, okay? The next step you want to do is on each one of these cylinders, I need to clean this up a little bit. We're going to do that here in a minute. Each one of these cylinders, what we're going to do is we're going to put back in our 22 millimeter bolt right there in the crank. And once we do that, we are going to pull the piston to the top. So, I got to find my ratchet, y'all. We'll get it. We'll get it. We're dragging this one on too long. I didn't want it to be that long of a video. Where is my ratchet? There it is. Okay, and what I mean by to the top is do each one of the cylinders this way. Right there, you're to the top. So what you're going to do is, where's my brake cleaner? I'm going to clean this up a little bit better. Spray it off. Tilt your motor just a little bit that way. But what you're going to want to do is spray in where the rings are and get all that out of there. Now once you do that, I'm just showing y'all, I do it better than that. Get you a little air tool, and then you're going to want to go around it, okay? That gets all the dirt out. Takes care of it real good, okay? I just want to show you all that for a test example. I'll show you it after it's clean, but I'm going to clean this up a lot better than what y'all are seeing right here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're just going to spray this. We're going to spray that a little bit. Just get that off there. Then we'll do that. And the reason I sprayed the whole thing is because I'll wipe it again here in a minute, y'all. I'm just showing you. Gets a lot of that off. Anyways, we ain't gonna mess with none of that stuff right there. We're just going to leave it, and we're gonna run fuel injector cleaner through this, which should have been done a long time ago. And we will be close to getting the head gaskets on. So we're gonna wipe down this side, do the same thing. If you can see it. You're like, yeah, you just sprayed the other head. Yes, I did. I'm going to do a fresh one on it before we put the head gaskets on. Make it a lot better. Did make a pretty good mess there, though. Go ahead and get that. And then we're going to hose this off. Okay, now we're going to get another paper towel. And we're going to do it one more time before we do the head gaskets, but we're going to wipe down the whole thing now. Get all that off there. Nice and clean. There we go. Now I'm going to check, make sure ain't no high spots, anything like that, and we should be good to go. And these are just about clean. I do have to do the exhaust ports still. Okay, and here is the cross section. Just had 4 bolts to undo it. We're going to clean this up. You can either use sandpaper or use the air tool like I'm doing. There's 2 O-rings. They just go down in here. As you see, they are flat. Okay, so we're going to replace those. Usually these don't leak, but it looking like about a 10-year 15 year, wait a minute, this is a 9, so yeah, let's say 15 years, somewhere around there. Then you want to go ahead and replace. Anytime you do the intake gaskets, go ahead and do this. Anytime you do the head gaskets, go ahead and do this, just to make sure it ain't going to leak. I've seen these not leak up to 300,000 miles, so this one, I don't know what happened for it to actually leak like that, but we're replacing them. Need to show y'all something else. I thought this one was going to be cleaner than this, but whenever there's pitting like that, let me show you a little bit better. When there's pitting, we're going to use Mega Copper, and we're going to put it all over this to fill in the pitting, okay? And then we're going to put in the O-ring. So Mega Copper, Mega Black, anything like that that's sensor resistant, oil resistant, antifreeze resistant, whatever, use it. And we're going to put it back together. There we go. We got plenty of silicone there, and we put the O-ring over top of it right there and just smeared it over top. And here is what we did to the rest of it. We just put a thin coat right there, and that took care of it. Now we're going to put it together, bolt it down. I just snug it, and it might say foot-pounds, whatever, or inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, but I just snug it, y'all. I mean, that's what I've always done. Just feel for it, don't break it, put it back on. All right, let's go on to the next part. Another thing you got to do is you need to clean your intake right here. Clean all that off. I'm just going to use a tool, clean it off, and then we'll slap it back on there. Okay, y'all, that's going to be it for part 1 of disassembly and cleanup Follow along on part 2 for installing the head gaskets.